Hey yo, what up? Welcome to Black Savage Entertainment. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and turn your notification bell on. Yo, in this video, we got Akademiks. He's playing referee against Wack 100 and 1090 Jake. They're having this heated debate over the Larry Hoover paperwork and whether or not he is a snitch or considered a rat. Now, 1090 Jake, he leaked this newspaper article associating Larry Hoover with some telling that happened in 1970s when he was shot at a school by a rival gang member. Wack 100, he came forward to defend Larry Hoover and try to debunk the claims that 1090 Jake brought forward about Larry Hoover being a snitch. So now the two are coming heads on Akademiks stream, and Akademiks is trying to be the referee. Now, 1090 Jake and Wack 100, they have a difference of opinion in this conversation. It turns into a debate, so let's get right into it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Let's get it.
Well, the work is going to call him that.
Okay, but if the work says that, will you adopt it and stick by the work?
I don't never go against the work act. It is what it is. The truth could never be considered disrespect. But right now, my whole disposition being you're talking based upon a newspaper article, not a court document. Now, the minute a police report, a court document is there in front of us,
let me ask you a question though. If
that's what happened, then that's what that is.
Wait. Yeah, but if you're saying, okay, the newspaper could lie, why can't the police lie?
You can't base upon a newspaper article.
Yeah, but why can't the police lie though?
Well, a court document is if you're in court and you giving a statement, and yes, they can, but if you giving a statement and
in a police report, it wouldn't be a court at that point. Could you use a police report to say somebody's a snitch? Because it looks like that newspaper article was quoting a police report.
Yeah, but it's
and the police could lie.
No. They're not saying that's a published police report. This is just them reporting. Like, for instance, in the same newspaper article, they reported that the James Hightower guy, or Highsmith, was from a certain gang, which he's not from that gang. He was never from that gang. So, you know that newspaper shit, you can't really, you can't say it's not true, but you can't use it as a court document. Not where I come from. Now, I can't say what that court document is going to say. 1090 is going to have to go pull that court document, and then we can go from there. I will tell you this. I haven't attempted to obtain the court document personally, right? And why I haven't attempted to obtain the court document is because I really don't want the man to be a snitch. You get what I'm saying? So I'm leaving it as it goes. I'm defending it as I can. And right now I'm in a position where I can defend Larry Hoover against a newspaper article. So am I showing some sort of favoritism or biases? Yes, I am, because I'm not going to the extent to really go find that. Now, 1090 on the other hand, because I went and found the shooter and did an interview, and the shooter totally debunked what he was saying. I know 1090 ain't, he like you, he like me, he ain't gonna lay down. I do know it's, and the reason why I know he's working, because there is another document.
Wait, who's working? Who's working?
1090 is working for sure. He's out. He's trying to get the real fucking paperwork from 1968. The reason why
Chat, I'm putting 1090 on the phone, chat. Let's get to the fuckery. I'm gonna put both of them on the phone. I'm gonna merge this motherfucking call. Hold on. I'm sorry, Wack. We gotta put both of y'all on the phone. 1090 answer, nigga. 1090 answer. We're gonna figure out
your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're
right, I respect his hand as I respect yours, Act, when it comes to us digging. Like, if I know Wack Act is digging, and I know I've dug and found something, I know you're gonna find it too, right?
I'm gonna find it.
If Act,
let's get this shit going on, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I think Larry Hoover got a lot of fear in people's hearts, man. They ain't trying to fuck around with no Larry Hoover. I love the GDs. I never see Wack talking to me like a lawyer right now. When it comes to Nipsey, he'd be like, "That's a fact."
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The
favor of Mr. Hoover, he's gonna put that with this other document that I have that shows there's a rat involved, and he's gonna stick a fork in it, and niggas gonna have to run for the hills. This is a fact.
Oh shit! Hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right, we getting 1090 going. We gotta get to the fucking word.
Yo,
we got 1090's on the phone, Wack. We got 1090.
There you go.
We got 1090 on the phone.
I'm gonna repeat what I just said, right?
We just want to know, is he a rat? Because here's the thing, the GDs are upset. The GDs, they're in the door.
I'm gonna repeat what I said. 1090 reported on the newspaper article. He even went further to dig and find a secondary newspaper article to support the first one. I responded with the shooter and said, well, I'm not going to use a newspaper article in place of a court document. Now, I know I have a document that 1090 can use to kind of debunk some shit. And I know if I got it, he has it. And the fact that he has it lets me know I think he's digging or waiting to get the 1968 document of Larry Hoover, what happened in court. And then I think he's going to cover all of it. If that document,
I ain't gonna lie though, you are backpedaling.
The newspaper article, then it's a problem.
Wack,
now, me personally,
Wack, I love you, but you backpedaling. I heard you. I heard you
the 1968 document.
Hold on, Wack. I love you, but you backpedaling a little bit. I heard you.
I'm not backpedaling.
I heard you on Clubhouse, and you basically reamed out 1090, basically saying that it was, you didn't say he got fake paperwork, but you were saying he jumped the gun.
No, he don't got. He's basing it upon a newspaper article, right? But I know he has some real paperwork based upon something else, and the fact that he hasn't come with that lets me know that nigga don't want the short clip. He's waiting to see if he's gonna turn that into an extended clip. So if he goes and pulls court documents and support a newspaper clip, everybody's gonna have to take a seat.
Wait. But Wack, if you're admitting that he has some type of work, you're basically admitting that Larry Hoover's a rat. Is he a rat or not?
The court document he actually has isn't necessarily on Larry Hoover, but he could use it if he wants to right now to kind of discredit what I use to clear Larry Hoover.
Wait, let me ask you a question.
It's just to do it lets me know he's just working to get it all.
Let me ask you a question, because I'm gonna be honest with you. When it came to Big Meats, niggas violated Big Meats in 20 seconds.
No,
is there some type of fear about the Gangsta Disciples, the reputation, and Larry Hoover?
No, it's no fear.
Because I've never seen people jump on 1090 who usually when he's saying something, he'll roll shit out in faces. We've seen it with Boston Rich.
1090 knows.
By the way, 1090's on the phone. 1090, you here, bro?
1090 knows that if they find anything on him, they gonna light his ass up, as is me, right? Now I'm gonna be real with you, right? Could I go dig and look for the document? I can. Have I? No. So this is kind of my way of showing a little respect to the old man. Now 1090 doing something he shouldn't be doing? No, not at all. He's being a journalist, and we ain't discriminated against anybody else when they can't anybody fucking else. So no man has been in the program. It's not he's coming, right? And he ain't wrong for that. I know what his play is, right? Because he hasn't responded in the way that I know he could have responded. I know he had something he could have responded, and the fact that he hasn't, he said, you know what? I'm not going to hit him with lunch. I'm going to hit these motherfuckers with the whole kit. But that's the determining factor of that is when the 1968 paperwork actually comes back to say what really did and didn't occur.
Hey, wait, 1090, are you on the line?
Yeah, what's up?
Yo, let me just ask you in plain words, because Wack just gave me the longest Johnny Cochran message.
No, I'm telling you
what is a guy a rat or not?
Right.
I look to y'all I look to the Hunted side and the exposers and 1090. Who got the work? Is he a rat or not?
So at this point, he can't stand on it based on a court document because he doesn't have that. I know what this crazy motherfucker got. He could respond, and I'm telling you, the fact that he has not responded in a way that I know he could, based on something to kind of talk or discredit something, I think he's waiting on that to just take a fork in the whole situation. I hope it comes back in favor of Larry. But right now, I know what he's doing. I know if he knows me like I know him.
Hey, 1090, since we have you on here officially, because I'm going to be honest with you, and I've seen a lot of people send me this, and they says your reputation, I think you went through this before, where your reputation becomes in limbo because people are wondering if you're either jumping the gun or you're lying, right?
Nah, I wouldn't say his reputation. His reputation.
My reputation can't be in limbo because people have favoritism.
There we go. Right? Talk about it.
So the thing is, they're talking about
now. Slow down.
My reputation isn't on the line in this situation, right? So, Wack, where did this shit start from? Who was the one that originally posted this? Because people.
It was an app called Squid 8 from Chicago.
Right. So Act. Yeah. This hit came from Chicago itself.
It didn't come.
Somebody from Chicago.
So you didn't conjure this up?
No, not at all.
Man, somebody from Chicago did this, and somebody from LA sent it to me and said, "Hey, is this shit real?" So what I did was I looked into it. I found articles saying the same shit as whoever from Chicago posted it, right? That was a Chicago blog that posted that. So that came from the city of Chicago. The reason they not putting a face on it is because they know what comes with it. That's the same reason James Highsmith isn't going to speak against Larry Hoover. He still lives in fucking Chicago.
Really?
Now, when I read the content I ran, the interview I ran, it was a great piece to protect Mr. Hoover. But
was it factual though, Wack? I know you would have run no fake content. The guy who said Larry Hoover never told on me.
Here's the thing. I am not this individual. These men are in their 70s. All I can do is go over that newspaper clipping and ask him, was it factual? What does he account what happened that day? Which is up on my page, right? So I let him answer. But what I'm telling you is, one thing about it, like when you got two motherfuckers at the chessboard, we kind of know what each other's up to based upon our movement and based upon the moves he hasn't made. Then that lets me know what 1090's up to.
So, right? Wack, I'm gonna ask you again: if 1090 come with the work, and it shows that Larry Hoover may have done such, will you stand on the Hunter side and say, hey, despite me having a conversation with the man who claimed, Larry Hoover never told on him, the work says otherwise, and Larry Hoover is a rat. Will you say
1090 can answer that? I'm always gonna go off to work. You know that.
So, hey, Wack, let me ask you, right? Because you just said you always gonna go off to work, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go off to work.
If you don't live in California State Prison, so if word comes out that somebody snitched, right? And you go and ask the person that did the shooting, is what he says gonna matter? Or is the paperwork?
No. The paperwork is gonna call the last shot.
Because the shooter can get paid off to say anything, right?
Well, people can get paid off. People could get intimidated. People could be persuaded.
Right. Now let me ask you.
Now watch this act. Watch this act. You got to remember. You got to remember, and the world has to remember.
Yeah.
You got to know. Because if it was me and your thing, and we was speaking the same way, we know we're going to find, whatever you find, I can find, right? So I'm telling you, based upon me knowing 1090 and how he moves and knowing what I got, I'm assuming, right? And actually, I'm not going to assume. I know he has a certain document and he just hasn't used it. So when I ask myself, well, why hasn't he fired the shot? I'm saying he's waiting to get back those 1968 documents. So I'm gonna ask you, 1090, is there a certain document that's in your possession that you could have responded with, but you haven't yet?
Absolutely.
There you go, Ack. I'm telling you, like, nigga, we chess players. I know.
But since we chess players, right? Let me ask you a question, Wack.
What's up?
You Pyru. If you hear one of the big homies in Pyru got some shit on his name, are you gonna wait for me to go get it, or are you gonna go get it?
Oh no, I'm definitely gonna go get it.
So why the GDs ain't going to the Chicago courthouse to prove that Larry Hoover ain't got no fucking paperwork?
If you want me to answer that question truthfully,
I want you to answer that question honestly.
For the same reason that I haven't.
They don't want it to. You feel me?
Well, I'm gonna be real. Like, in this world, and I'm gonna keep it real and act. I think you would understand this shit. In this world, when it comes to some people and some things, there's gonna be selective politic in there, right? To where if it was these other people, you would do it. If it's Big Meats, you would do it, as if Ack is saying. But now that it's Larry Hoover, you know, you're not doing it, and it's not necessarily. Some situations could be out of fear, which is what 1090 is suggesting with James Highsmith. Maybe he changed his story out of fear. And I'm gonna be real. I'm just saying, if 1090 pulls that paperwork from 1968 and it's not in favor of Larry Hoover, that other piece that I know he probably has, it's gonna blow the doors off of everything. It's game over at that point. I know if I got it, he has to have it.
Hold on, Wack.
I know if my
Will you talk about him like how I've heard you discuss Big Meech, that he's a rat bastard if the paperwork says that, or will you give him the grace? Because here's the thing, I think that, you know, and I think some people, and 1090J could even jump in. Some people are saying, bro, he's in his 70s or 60s, whatever. I don't know how old he is.
That doesn't matter. That don't matter.
Some people been saying that to say, come on, man. Bro, come on.
I'm kicking 50 in the ass. I got kids like he got kids. I got a reputation like he got a reputation. 1090 gonna feel the same way. Nobody really that got a set of cojones is gonna give a fuck about that. They gonna read what's on the work.
Oh wow.
Well, at the same time, you know, it's like there's a level of importance to shit like this, because I don't even think you can tally up how many GDs have died behind this shit, right? And what I said in my video was this would be considered breaking the code by any standard, but what about the person that wrote the code?
Now, I heard
so
you
people
say
were saying, oh, this was the 60s. That didn't matter back then. What you mean? Almost every gang is based off of the mafia. The mafia was the 20s, 30s, 40s.
Hey, by the way, real quick. Wait. 1090.
It's a hypocritical shot. How many people was eliminated based on the order of the words of that man? See, that's what I'm saying.
So it's like you got all these dudes, right? Because this man was 23 and went to prison in 1973. So the majority of the people DMing me, atting me, doing that shit that's mad as fuck ain't never even met this man. They weren't even alive by the time he went to prison.
Hey, I want to ask.
So my thing is this: what happens when you find out that the person you've believed in and everything, and have crashed out behind, caught bodies behind, represented to the fullest, and you kept it so gangster, you got 7 damn life sentences yourself. What happens when you find out if he told on somebody?
Let me ask both of you this question, because this happened to me recently, right? And it's not necessarily that, but okay, yesterday, everybody's in my chat. They're at me on social media. They say, you got to go talk about Rock Nation. And I said, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I usually take every challenge that come towards me. Absol says something, not answer. Lil Baby say something, not answer. Meat Mill say something, not answer. But I'm not gonna lie. And again, we're not talking about the streets here. We're talking about even as a content creator and somebody who's putting out information, and both of y'all do that. When they want me to go against Rock Nation, I said, I gotta pick and choose my battles wisely, because nobody else will go Rock Nation. Y'all trying to send me to go get my head cut off. Let me ask you, 1090 Jake. You have all this information, or sometimes you get it, or you look into it, and you see what it is. You probably have a barometer of like, people ain't gonna like what you're gonna say if it doesn't go as the narrative they're gonna want to receive. Do you ever say, you know what? If I tell them this, they're not even gonna believe it. They're gonna get more mad at me for bringing it to light. Let me not say it.
I mean, I'm already the most hated, so it's like
no, you're not. No, you're not. Get your.
I mean, Wack, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. You got yours, but I'm white though, so I'm gonna get a different level.
You white? That's the list.
It's easier for them to say something about me than you. They're gonna say,
but you know why though? People. Let me tell you why I think I am, because I've been poking the bear longer than you about all kind of shit. So I ain't gonna lie, they hate your motherfucker. You could be my hated, not identical twin brother, but fraternal twin brother. You know what I'm saying? But in this situation, you see what I sent you?
Yeah.
That's me asking that site, where did you get this from? And they admitted where they got it from. Because these people think I gave it to the site. They think I gave it to the site, and then I paid 1090 to respond. These people got a crazy ass imagination, bro. It's nuts.
There's always some conspiracy theories behind shit. So that's how shit happens. And it's easier for people to be mad at me and you than to go ahead and figure out the shit for them fucking selves.
And what's crazy is, man,
I seen a video earlier today. Some GD from Arkansas, some shit, talking about me saying this, that, and the third, saying I'm dumb, and then he couldn't even read the fucking paperwork. This man fucking up his words, so it's like, how am I dumb? You can't even read it. Never mind, go get it.
And so it's like, real act. If I didn't do what I did, it ain't no other voice out there unless it's a dude like you, big enough to fight this man in this type of lane. So, but I gotta tread lightly, because I can't really go. Only thing I can go at him with is what he's using. But I know it's other pieces out there that he might obtain.
Wait. I'm gonna be honest, and not necessarily for you, but even when so what I was talking about, I started texting 1090 just to be transparent. And everything I consumed, I saw people trying to laugh at 1090, be like, "Yo, we finally got this nigga. He exposed. He really bit off more than he could chew."
That's because of the content I read, but I'm telling you.
But it looked like he might have the work. It looked like.
Listen, before he came on here, I said, because of the content I read, because of the interviewing that dude and what he said, that kind of debunked what 1090's what his shit was, right? And the fact that he didn't respond immediately with what I know he probably has, lets me know he's just being patient. He's being patient and he's waiting to get back. What that is, either way, he has a response. As you see, the one could be a little shallow, or one could just be an explosion where can't nobody say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I got to respond to his response that he can use today. He know how I'm gonna come back. He knows it like I would know how he would come back. But then he also knows that Wack is handling this shit with white gloves. He knows that too, because
wait, Wack, are you handling this with white gloves? Because I'm
definitely handling it with white gloves.
Okay, because you probably fuck with a bunch of GDs, and you probably
no. I'm gonna be real. I'm not really too. All the youngsters from Chicago I deal with, they say some disrespectful shit when it comes to these type of people. They don't care. I'm gonna be real. He is kind of, in a way, he's part of that black history, as if like Al Capone or those other dudes are part of their history on the other side of it. But I gotta keep it 100. If it's been under false pretense and 1090 come back with some shit, some real shit, it ain't nothing nobody can say. You can't be mad at him for another person's
actions.
Wait.
Can't be.
By the way, I was doing my Google on the side. So it said that the gangster disciples supposed, because I hear this one guy, he be like on King David. And so the guy known as King David, him and Larry Hoover merged what they had going on to create the Black Gangster Disciple Nation. And that is like, I guess, the GDs, what it is. Hey, listen, y'all got to be getting mad threats. Yeah, I'm still confused why, if I was...
Hey, bro, you know the crazy part?
Yeah.
I'm getting the same threats 1090 is getting, and 1090 will tell you, I'm fighting for the brother. If me and 1090 was on the same side of this shit, boy, listen, and we was both running it up, it'd be a wall of fire blazing that they couldn't come through. But I'm getting threats, and I'm actually fighting in favor of Larry Hoover. So I know 1090 shit got to be crazy.
Damn.
They're telling me stop talking about it because my voice is so loud, it's making people pay attention. No, Squid Ape, the Chicago-based media platform, is what made people pay attention because that's how I see it.
Hold on. So Wack, so for the record, you would not say today that anything that 1090 Jake has said is fake, false, or fraudulent. You would just say you need more information and more work. That's what you're saying.
I'm gonna say that the things 1090 Jake reported on, right, are credible documents from the court for him to stand on that, and he's not gonna fight me on that. He's not.
Right, but this is the thing. What I found comes from a time where the only news, blogs, articles was literally the newspaper.
And they have to get it from the police report,
it's not a matter of is it a credible source. It is the only fucking source.
It's not the only source because the other source is the court.
Right. But this opens the doors to where, okay, the next move is going to the court.
Yeah, it opened the door to conversation and debate.
And that's all we've had so far is conversation, because what I said in my video is by all street codes. If this is true,
now 1090
that makes
gonna
him
believe.
There's not a rapper today that if he told the two people that shot him, he wouldn't be labeled a fucking rat. But the thing is this, Chicago, you have to go to the courthouse in person to request documents. So you're telling me the thousands of GDs in Chicago that literally fucking pray and say this man's name before they go to sleep, none of them want to go to the courthouse and go get this shit?
Oh, shit.
Well, you would think that they would want to go there to get it to clear him. But
so they find out that,
Wack, why do you think they don't do that then? If 1090 Jake is capping,
1090 knows what I'm doing, but this is why I know what he's doing. They find what I probably have. Like there's a thing out there that I know. I know he has the commission report. I know his shit. I know he probably has. He could take and put with another thing and that, and he could have responded.
Wack, you sound different today. It sounds like you almost agree with 1090 that he a rat.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is 1090 did not make this shit up. No, he did not. 1090 is not the origin of this shit. No, he's not. But the documents he's using, right, is not a credible enough document. It's not a legal entity. It's not the court document.
I can agree to an extent, right?
Yeah,
but
that's all I'm saying.
What was your response to the news articles that I brought?
My response to the news article is that it was just that, news articles, and we've been watching those articles back in those times. We manipulated.
And who did you interview to get a new perspective?
You gonna force this dude? I know where you're trying to go tonight.
Who did you interview?
I interviewed the shooter, James.
The shooter.
What
now,
makes him
a credible person?
If you fire a shot, it's gonna take away from your Gatling gun. Don't get
no. I'm asking, if the news isn't credible, what makes him credible?
Well, he's gonna be more credible to this situation now because he's actually named as the shooter.
Right.
he's named as the shooter. Now, can he be lying? Can he be leaving something out? Can it be some pressure on that side? Yes, and I know why you can say that.
Wait,
hold on,
Wack. How could you say, like, you know, again, I hear what you're saying. Like, we don't have enough stuff, and I think that's very valid. But I've heard you say Big U is working, Brick Baby working, Loose Cannon working.
All paperwork. I have court documents.
Hold on. But shit, we're starting to see some paperwork about Larry Hoover. How come he wasn't working?
We don't have no court documents.
Well, so
If there's no court documents, when I say it, there's no court documents.
Wack, you said he was working because he ain't had a court date. So why can't you say if your name's in the newspaper, you working?
Hold on, Brick Baby. See, now we crossing the other waters, and 1090's gonna understand it. Brick Baby never knew how I knew what I knew. That's why he thought I was working with the police.
You had a nigga fucking his baby moms. I remember that.
Hold on, listen, because he knows what I was saying was true, but he's like, there's no way he could know this unless he told him, but he just forgot his baby mama was a factor. No man wants to believe somebody is dicking down his woman, right? And she gave up the good. No man wants to believe that, right? So that's how I knew that information. This situation, look, I fought 1090 back with the best thing I had, the actual person in their story. Now, is there room or is there a possibility that a document can surface that discredits that? Yes, it's a possibility because none of us have seen the court document. If the court document comes and says the total opposite and supports the newspaper clipping, then at that point in time, I know what else he's going to add to that. And it's going to be impossible to fight it.
Damn.
At that point.
Ain't no way Larry Hoover a rat. I ain't going to lie. Ain't no way. Larry Hoover too real to be a rat. If he stayed in 80X Florence.
Here goes with 1090.
Don't nobody know him.
You don't know how real Larry Hoover is because, nigga, you 30-something. Nigga, he been locked up 53 years. How you know how real he is?
I mean, I never been in the street, but I hear everybody talk about him. Yo, you ain't hear the song? It says, free Larry Hoover. It said Trump should have free Larry Hoover. Some. I forgot his song.
Listen, I'm gonna be real. I'm hoping that the court paperwork comes back in Larry Hoover's favor. I'm gonna be real with you. I hope it does.
Yo, Wack. Okay, I agree with you. I agree with you. I just don't think.
Called me out to a bet right now. Will I take that bet? And you know I'm a bet man, but I'm a sure bet man.
I'll take a bet with you, Wack. I'll take $1,000 bet that if the work says that he a rat, you're not gonna call him a rat like how you talk about Big Meech and you talk about the other niggas. You know why? Because the GDs, they really got through the door and they about to put belt to ass to anybody disrespectful.
That's not a concern of mine.
So if the work says he's a rat, you're gonna call Larry Hoover a rat.
You want to bet me $100,000 that if the court paperwork come back that he told that I won't say he's a rat? Is that what you bet me?
Nah, not $100,000. I said $1,000.
I don't think you want to take that bet.
No, I said $1,000. It's $1,000. You know what I mean?
$1,000 ain't worth it because you would give me that right now.
I know. I'm just trying to pay for your black truck around for a day. That's it. $100,000.
Send me $1,000 right now. You're gonna do that, and you ain't gonna even ask you why I need it. So that's
Wack. Wack. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I'm watching 1090 Jake do a 3-1 comeback. Everybody was violating him. Yo, I was watching YouTube videos and channels saying 1090's done. He fucked with the wrong one.
I dropped a nuke on him. But I know what he's up to. I know what he's doing. And look, it's gonna come down to if that fucking document comes back supporting the newspaper article.
It sound like you're trying to soften the blow. That if he come back with the shit, you could be like, all right, I at least knew something was coming. But 1090's not backing up. I was hoping he was going back and be like, yo, you know what? I'm done with this shit.
I'm gonna be real. I represent the exposers, right? I have other documents that if I was 1090, that I could fight me back with and create a real narrative, right? But
so you got this shit like chess.
Yeah, the fact that he has yet to
Man, everything is chess, bro. But there's a difference between shooting at something and hitting it.
Yeah, see,
we trying to head tap shit when it comes to this paperwork.
Yeah, he wants to hit. So the reason
I ain't back off the shit is because I didn't see what Squid 8 or whatever his name is posted and run with that. I went and found the articles myself, so I know for a fact this is real shit that's been documented. Then I ended up getting the mug shots for the shooters, figuring all this shit out.
Hold on.
You know what I mean?
So let's set the barometer right now.
Actually documented.
Let's set the barometer right now because I know how Wack move. So if 1090J get the police report, and in the police report it says, I spoke with Larry Hoover and he said that nigga shot me, is he a rat?
Yeah, it definitely will be a rat.
Oh shit.
Hands down. Anybody will be a rat. Listen.
Okay.
There's nobody bigger than the program, bro.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, you gotta remember, homie, I'm from where I'm from. And where I'm from, we don't.
What happens with that, though, the response with that is going to be the police lied. They're going to add something on top of that, right?
No. Wack is saying he's not going to say the police lied.
No, but this is what I'm saying, though. That's what the people are going to say. If they're saying, oh, I don't want to see no news clip and show me the paperwork. Then you show them the paperwork. They say the paperwork ain't true. Then they're going to ask for a fucking time machine because they want to be there when the shit happened.
Wack, you here?
Yeah, what did you say, bro?
He said
R&B act, you know, I'm in check, bro. So
no, I know. Shout out to the Queen R&B, but basically what 1090J said, he predicts that once he provides more evidence, y'all gonna move the goalposts. Y'all gonna be like, well,
no, I'm gonna be real. Listen,
the police lied.
For the first time, I already know he has something he can respond with, but he's not, because he knows how I'm gonna respond to that, right? He's not trying to take a shot. He's looking for the kill shot. If he gets that piece, right, it's nothing nobody's gonna be able to say, because then the piece he has now is only gonna really just put a fucking fork in it. If he gets some documents that supports that newspaper, that court document, and he has what I think I know he probably has, it ain't nothing nobody can say. People can't look at me like I was wrong, because the fight I'm fighting is saying you can't use a newspaper article to have the same validation as the minute orders or police report from a court document, right? What he has, he can fight my last interview with and call speculation. But in the fact that he hasn't done it lets me know he's looking for the headshot. He don't want to take a shot. He know I'm good at what I do, like I know he's good at what the fuck he does. If he fires right now, he know how I'm gonna fire back. What I'm gonna do is, you know, the planes send those little things out. They're like, okay, let the missile hit one of those. You know, I'm gonna send those out.
Wack, have you talked to Larry Hoover since he's been his sentence got commuted, or not yet?
No, I've never talked to Larry Hoover. I've talked to his son once or twice, and you know, I was in the middle of all that Larry Hoover footage that's never came out.
Maybe hold on. 1090. Are you worried about Jay Prince getting involved? Because Jay Prince was involved when Wack.
Now 1090 might be a little scared of Jay Prince.
Oh
I think
shit.
He might.
Oh no. Okay.
I mean, what is Jay Prince gonna get involved? Is he gonna just go request the paperwork?
Well, Jay Prince got involved when they thought that Wack was the reason why the footage didn't get crossed over, and Wack said it was a business deal. I'm just here to make sure it goes good. But they were trying to blame Wack to say Wack was doing some underhanded tactics to keep the old man, quote unquote, Larry Hoover in jail. So now, if he's like setting up for maybe trying to get a pardon from the state, he just got one from a commutation from the federal government.
Got a nice ass.
They might look at 1090 and be like,
here's the thing about that, right? Because Jay Prince also spoke out when dude that got charged with killing bro from the Migos. He said that the shooter snitched, right? So Jay Prince, I believe, showed the paperwork and was accusing him of snitching. So Jay Prince is against snitching. The thing about this, though, as far as would any of this keep Larry Hoover in prison, this isn't a crime that he committed or is accused of committing. This is a situation where he was.
It would just tarnish. It would tarnish his name and what they say he stood for. That's what it was.
Why? You're older than me. You tell me. Ain't Larry Hoover one of the top 10, top 5 realest niggas who ever lived? That's that like, come on, free Larry.
I can't tell you that. I can't.
What you mean?
Tell you that because when you ask
it's
me
him,
that question,
Tookie Williams, and a couple other niggas, and they're the realest niggas who ever lived.
But see, I don't put those people in my top 5 realest people that ever lived.
It's him, Tookie Williams, Nipsey Hussle, and
no. See, the top 5 people. If you ask me the realest people that have ever lived, right? Yeah. If you was to ask me, right? First and foremost, then we got to talk about Donald Lewis Farrakhan, Khalid Muhammad. We got to talk about Martin Luther King. We got to talk about my great grandfather because without him I wouldn't be here. And
wait, what the fuck? Hold on, I got to troll chat. I'm sorry.
A gang member to me personally because that shit helped.
Hold on, but I'm thinking about gang member wise. Like there was a time you said that you had said that the greatest Crip was Big U. Now I'm thinking about the greatest GD is like
we talked
Larry.
About street dudes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we was comparing Big U and Monster Cody, right? But when you talking about realist,
no, we talking about realist street dudes. Like they held it down, always kept to the code.
Okay,
so we talking about Monster Cody, Big U. We're talking about Larry Hoover, and who else?
No. When you talking that type of shit, there's other people that was ahead of Big U when it comes to that. There's the Key to Rocks.
No, but you did say he was the biggest Crip one time, Wack. You did say that, right?
No. I said when it comes to him and Monster Cody.
Oh, okay.
Right, the comparison. Yeah, because you had one dude that wrote a book and influenced a whole bunch of people, for whatever reason, and then you had another dude who came home, did a lot of time, and was able to do what he did, as we see up until this day. But I would say he definitely had an impact and influence. He's probably had one of the bigger impacts and influence when it comes to the spread of people representing something because of an individual. I will probably place him at number 1. Yeah, I can't take that from him.
Hey, listen, 1090 Jake, I think the entire hip hop commentator YouTube community owes you because they're getting on your ass today. I'm telling you, I seen it. They owe you an apology.
No, he hasn't earned that apology yet.
Nah, he earned it. Wack, if he didn't earn it,
hasn't.
you would have been here violating him. I know you, Wack.
I shot my shot. See, I can't go at him.
Wack, but you're not if you stood on the shot, you would say if
it's
you
missing links out there. If this nigga turned into Mission Impossible, right? And that's a great movie. I went and seen it twice. Right? If he turns into Mission Impossible and go find shit, right? Which is findable. I don't know what it's gonna say. If it supports that newspaper article, then at that point he's gonna be able to beat his chest because he has another piece that he can put to it, right? But if it does not support the newspaper article, then at that point in time he's gonna have to whimper down a little bit and say, hey, I just reported based upon what I was reading. And he still ain't gonna be wrong. But he did. Where his wrong is at right now is he actually called Larry Hoover a rat based upon a newspaper article. So this is why he has to go get that court document, and he's praying
that it supports the newspaper article. If it doesn't, then they're gonna look at him crazy.
Yo, 1090, what's the next steps, man? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, they're almost, I think people are so emotionally invested in this.
He's gonna send somebody in there to get that damn.
Yeah, the thing is, bro, I don't even need to go to Chicago to get that. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody to get it.
That's yeah, money makes all that happen, right? I don't have to just get no random person. I can get somebody that's their field, that's their line of work. But the thing is, you know, as far as all the hate and all the shit, it's like Wack said. What I said was, this will be considered snitching by any code, right? There's no rapper today that can name 2 people that shot them and they're not gonna get called a rat. That's a fact.
Hold on, wait,
no, that's a fact.
Listen,
that's a fact.
Everybody know Wack, my OG. Let me ask you. So Wack, if person A gets shot and he's a street nigga, and he said, and the cop said, "Who shot you?" And he said, "Person B and C shot me."
That's a rat. He's a rat.
He's a rat. Okay, all right. Holy.
Yeah, no. See, if I was to shy away from that 1090, have a field day with me, it's over with. It's over with for Wack at that point. It's like, he's gonna look at me like, oh, hey, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? So there's no getting around that. Nobody. Now, do I think it's going to affect how the majority look at and see Larry Hoover in the environment we're in today? Absolutely not. If it was 10 out of 10, William, it may go to 8.5 out of 10. But he's still going to get the selective politic vote. But it'll be 1090 gonna go down in history because he'll be the one that actually went and found that Mission Impossible. That piece.
Hold on, Wack. You know this has been brewing for a while, and it's not necessarily a competition, but we just want to know who is the ultimate king of the paperwork. Is it 1090 or Wack 100 and the 100 side?
I will tell you this: 1090.
It appears that might be 1090 because he's coming with some shit.
1090 and 1090 at one time was the most popular because he was the one heard doing it. When we were doing it, we were attacking the East Coast. CEO Rick and myself, so we was doing shit like making like Rich his own paperwork without him knowing it. But you know what? I haven't seen any paperwork he ran that wasn't real. The only one where he's fucking playing with it right now is this. And I think he's confident. And I think he's confident because of the multiple newspaper companies that said the same thing. I believe 1090's thinking if this shit was false, Larry Hoover and his family would have sued these newspapers behind this. I know what he's thinking. I know it's like, and that is yet to happen. I would assume if the newspaper come out as is World Star Hip Hop and LA Media ran some shit on me that was false, I sued them for slander and defamation. I filed lawsuit.
Hey,
right? So,
one thing I do like with you, you respect a formidable opponent. When you beefing with like niggas who ain't shit,
yeah, the minute you don't acknowledge a respectable opponent, the minute nigga you gonna lose.
I vote with that. I could tell when it comes to 1090, you could have just clearly said this guy's a liar, he's a fraud, he don't know what he's talking about.
The minute I do that, right, I know that this whole dive is incomplete. We've been in shallow waters, right? Was I able to show enough in these shallow waters that it may not be? Yes, I have. But there's still another dive that can happen. And until that dive happens and a person comes back up, what was down there, right? I'm not going to tell you what's at the bottom of the ocean. We can't get to the bottom of the ocean. We can only go so far. So I'm not gonna put my name and my credibility on that, especially on somebody that's saying, I know a way to get to the bottom of the ocean, to take video and come back up with it to show what is and what isn't down there. I'm not finna bet against it because I don't know what it might say. I know as of now, it's a newspaper article. A newspaper article is not sufficient enough to be credible to call a man a rat. It was written. I have the shooter that is saying that man did not rattle him. So based on those two things, as of now, I'm resting my case to say Larry Hoover didn't fail. Now, is there another approach? Is there other documents? Is there other things out there that would debunk that? It's possible because there's court documents and nobody has yet to get them yet.
At 1090,
I pulled it up. You can go get them.
1090, I'll give you the floor. As I said, because I seen people a lot of people hit me with stuff that they said, yo, 1090 a man's right. He's done. They're cooking him. Everybody's turned on him. He's presented fake shit. There's been a shooter who talked. What is your answer to everything now that we got Wack on here? Wack he's keeping it real. He's like, yo, listen, I presented what I know. I've stood on what I know, but I've never said that it can't be whatever. I go by the work. The work. What do you think?
Well, it's like how you asked him about who he feels is the top exposer, right? I think Wack's been doing this longer than me, so I'm gonna give him credit for that. And it's also like you said, when you got a formidable opponent, right? You gotta respect them, because why would you beef with anyone less than? So I kind of like the fact that me and him have two different perspectives on this. As far as people saying it's fake, there's nothing fake about it. They just don't know how to look for it, or they choose not to. They don't like it. That's what they should be saying. They shouldn't be saying it's fake. They should be saying, I don't like this. Well, the way to correct that, if you don't like it, or if you assume it's fake, is to do your homework. But there's a lot of people that look for the truth with their eyes closed. And what I mean by that is they don't want to see what's on the other side of this shit. So as far as everything I've produced, nothing I've produced is fake. This came from the Chicago Tribune, which is the biggest newspaper in Chicago, which is still active to this day. It's just a matter of confirming everything and diving deeper, like Wack said.
And I got to keep it real. You're right, because I haven't sent my team out to get it because I really don't want to see what's on the other side of it.
Why not?
And
why you don't want to see it?
It's kind of like people enjoy the myth more than the truth, right? People enjoy the facade more.
I don't even think it's a facade. Like, for everything I heard, they said Larry Hoover.
That's why I said you never want to meet your
I'm
hero.
just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it.
You're not gonna say it, Wack.
If I didn't listen, there's a document out there that challenges the credibility of the shooter. And because I've read what I've read, and I know he probably has it, I know it's a strong possibility that paperwork may come back a little different.
Wow. Chat, give me 2 seconds.
Now, I don't know the paperwork I have that challenges the credibility of the shooter is from many years later, 78, 88, like 24 years later, right? But there's paperwork that, see, right now, 1090 can challenge the credibility of the shooter. He knows if he challenges the credibility of the shooter, I'm simply going to respond to where, well, that still doesn't prove that he's lying. He could, it can't be. That's the shooter. I get what you're saying, but that still doesn't make the newspaper article, right, the end-all, be-all of the documents we need to see. Hey. So if I don't, but I know
not to cut nobody off, but
can't be challenged.
Not to cut nobody off, but 1090. Could we get like a time for? It seems like you're gonna respond, and Wack is Wack playing chess. He says he feels he knows what you can respond with. He's doing his thing, but Wack is a chess player. When could we see the 1090 Jake response? You don't got to give us an exact date. Are we talking about a week? Are you gonna take a month? Are you still waiting for shit? Is it TBA? It's all good. When will we hear a proper response from 1090 Jake? You're somebody in this hip hop community at this point. We have the Wack 100s of the world. We know what he does. You have the me's, you have the Vlads, you have the Adam 22s, you have the Art of Dialogues, and all these other people. But you serve a particular role. When will you answer to any doubts about you or whatever officially? Not now here, but answer to it. When will you put that proper retort? Could we get a date, or are you like, listen, it's coming?
I mean, I want to wait until the GDs get all that air out of their chest. When they done doing all that shit, then we're gonna play. But Wack ain't the only one playing chess, and he knows that. So,
wait. You don't think the GDs might try to beat you up?
Huh?
You know the GDs is in the door. They might try to beat you up.
He ain't worried about that shit. He's worried about that.
I'm not even gonna entertain that. But I'm gonna let them get it all out, and then, you know, when they ain't got no air left, then that's when that.
When you entered the realm that Hop entered 1090 in Akademiks, even you yourself entered it. You was in a dangerous place some time ago when you was kind of the king of the Chicago shit.
Hey, Wack, wait. I gotta correct you. I'm always in a dangerous place. Okay, the thing is, here's the thing. And this is why all three of us. Wait.
We wouldn't run the shit we run.
Wait. This is why all three of us is important on this call. There's a lot of times we're approaching certain subjects that we know nobody else want to approach. We know that other people are going to be super mad about, but we know, hey, listen, we going to make sure we do what we got to do to make sure we're good, but we're going to still give the content. Wack, I know you do that. I do that. And that's why I was looking at 1090 Jake, because I was like, this could be the perfect situation to fold on and to say, my bad, y'all. There's too much people supporting this. I'm not going to touch it. Instead, he's saying, hey, with all due respect, I'm not disrespecting nobody, but my platform stands for the truth. So if I speak, I'm not trying to do nothing to you, but I am speaking for the truth. And I've realized that hits hard.
Well, that's what I said in the video. I said, with all due respect, if you ain't 50, 60, 70 years old, I don't give a fuck what you're saying, because you didn't even know this man. He didn't have nothing to do with him. You just heard about him. You were told to praise him. You don't know him. You have no personal connection to him. So that shit don't, they acting like I'm dropping the ultimate diss. King Von was Mr. GDK. He didn't get shot by a GD. So I'm not worried about all the, because that's coming from people that are in the most random ass states, down bad, fucked up. The ones that's really participants ain't even doing all that shit. And a lot of them are sitting back and waiting, I'm sure, because this shit definitely stops conversations. It isn't just going to be this singling out me and Wack. No, there's conversations being had about this shit. 100%. How could there not be? It's not a small thing. And the fact that they know who I am and they know I've produced news articles, you can dumb it down as much as you want. Well, what all in that news article was real? He really got shot. He really got shot by real people. There's just one specific aspect of the news article that they're trying to say is false. And that's what people are waiting on.
1090, man. Listen, I'm a supporter of yours. I know how you get down, Listen, I was once in your position.
He don't fucking support me. He supports you.
Oh, no. Wait, hold on, Wack. Because there's a time.
Rhinoceros head ass motherfucker.
I know, nigga. I know, but there was
you never said you were supported.
Wack, I support you all the time. Stop playing. But I will say that 1090 Jake. You know why I like 1090 Jake and Trap Lil Ross and people like that is because there was a time that I felt that I had to do all of that. Like everything. But I didn't do it as good as them because I didn't hone into what 1090 Jake is doing. It's amazing. Here's the thing. I'm going to support 1090 Jake. Because here's the thing. Yeah, I might not like what he's doing or why you think he's doing it. But none of y'all ever going to come with him and say he's lying. That helped me continue in media for a long time. It's one thing if people like, yo, I don't like that you telling everybody that I'm broke and that my girl sued me for child support and then this other bitch is trying to say. I don't like when people talk about me either. I get it. But that does exist. One thing I've never seen them say about 1090 Jake, and this is the only reason I hit him up today. Nobody gonna say that nigga's a liar. He just made some shit up. You might say, like Wack is saying, I need some more info. Cool, but nobody ever said you're a fucking liar. And that.
No, I know where he got it from. He's not the point of it. That's the fact. I sent you at. That's me, and those people DMs, and they're admitting to me where they got it from. That's a Chicago-based situation. You got it. I sent it to you on screen record.
But there's a reason why nobody in Chicago is putting their face on that. It didn't originate with us. That's the thing. There's a reason why they're not going to put their face on and speak against Larry Hoover. There's a reason why James Highsmith is not going to speak against Larry Hoover.
I think Wack should mind his business, because if the Chicago niggas won't speak up, Wack, don't get in more trouble by trying, or not even trouble, but it's no need to create enemies when, like, this is what I said about Rock Nation.
Hey, bro, you know how crazy, listen, I'm glad you said that. Don't that sound crazy? Is that niggas is mad because I'm defending the man. I'm going to be real. Ain't nobody else out there, unless it's you act, that could go nose to nose with 1090 about this type of shit. He going to eat you up.
Yo, here's the thing. People don't want you to talk about it, period. And that's
but here's the thing. It's being talked about. So because it's being talked about, I chose to take the position of defending the man. Straight up. Even if I don't defend him, it's just going to be people attacking Larry Hoover. So it's going to be talked about.
You're right.
So I said, you know what? Let me see what he got. I see what he has. Okay. Let me take the position of defending Mr. Hoover, right? And they still mad. But guess what? They're going to have to be mad. Because now I'm out there in the water, and it's what it is. But if 1090 comes back with what if he comes back with something from that court, 1090, if you ask him, what's Wack response going to be? He going to tell you what it's going to be. There ain't no response. I can only defend based upon what I'm seeing. If I see some shit I can't defend, then I can't defend.
Makes all the sense in the world. Hey, 1090 Jake, bro, I appreciate you coming on here. Wack, love you always.
Oh, you appreciate 1090.
Wack, I call you at any time. You call me at any time. I was just on Clubhouse 5 hours for you. It don't matter. 1090 don't come on. Like, let me tell you this. 1090 is like a sniper. I know he sits back, he does his thing. He doesn't really come on and just hang out and whatever. Obviously, we're always welcoming him, but when I see him come on and he's like, yo, because it was a kind of impromptu. Everybody was telling me like, yo, based on what we seen, we got to call Wack. And then we're like, well, I thought, let's call 1092, but I know, by the way, he ain't scared of nothing, but I don't bring him on here all the time. Man is busy. He got a lot of shit. It's a reason why he's him. He's a sniper. So when he comes on here, I got to give him some credit. And Wack, I give you your credit too. Stop playing.
Listen, brothers. Listen, once again, 1090 is a great, and I'm going to be real, I'm not an enemy of 1090. He's done a bunch of great work. In this situation, we're just doing our back and forth, and it's a respectful one going on.
Wait, Wack, can I ask you one question?
What?
Yo, could me and you go to a Kendrick concert? I want to go with you. I'm gonna get the best. Like, I get the tickets. I got tickets to his entire tour.
Yeah, we can go to the Kendrick concert.
So
they're my brothers.
Wait, Wack. So if me and you, so I'm telling you, Live Nation ain't gonna give me. I got whatever tickets I want to the tour. If
Bro,
I got tickets to
listen, first of all, I'm only getting Kendrick tickets from one entity.
Who?
And one entity only. That comes from Top Dog, Live Nation, and none of that don't supersede that with me. I'm gonna call my brother.
Okay, I don't know if they fuck with me like that. I'm cool with them, but I don't know if they fuck with me like that. But I got tickets. What I'm saying is that Wack, if me and you pop out to the, this is almost like it's
I'm gonna tell them I'm gonna bring you. One of them may want to sit down and talk to you.
Nah, we just gonna be vibing, you know what I mean? Like, you gonna teach me, well, I don't know if you can teach me the crip walk, but I wanna do all the dances that's associated with the songs.
Well,
But it's not enough. I wanna do the song. Yeah, Wack, I wanna do the dance. But it's not enough. But it's not enough. Then when it comes to Not Like Us, I can't sing the song because Drake's my man's. I can't sing the song, you call my man's a pedophile. But, you know, I'm like, I could try to do some moves. I got some moves. You can't dance, Wack?
Gangsters don't dance, we boogie.
Nah.
Shout out Ice Cube. West Side Connection.
I seen
Gangsters
OT
don't
Genesis
dance,
and Blueface.
Y'all go pull up that Ice Cube West Side Connection album. You might learn something.
Wack, I know about that damn album. All I'm saying
is... There's only one person that can make me dance.
And that's
the Queen R&B.
Don't tell me
she'll tell you. I dance for her, although I know I can't dance.
Wack, once I heard you was drinking her pee, I knew it was something different. But anyway, Wack, we're going to set that up. Yo, 1090 Jake, I appreciate you for coming in. By the way, we're tuned in for the 1090 Jake response. Wack, this is how smart you fucking are. You made it to a place that no matter what 1090 Jake put out, you in the clear. Because you ain't standing on nothing crazy to say, nigga, you lying, blah, blah.
No, I took the right position. No, I will say, 1090 is the risk taker in this situation because he jumped out the window and said, you a rat and this is this based upon this. So he's the risk taker and I know why he did it. In his head, this newspaper, all these newspapers ain't going to be reporting on this shit if it's a lie. I haven't seen a filing of defamation of character or slander against the newspaper, which would have been a bag. Larry's a public figure, and he knows he has something that can discredit the shooter. So I know his pieces. My thing is, my hopes are the court documents aren't going to come back in favor of the newspaper article.
All right, we will see.
That's my only move. I got my knights, my rooks, my bishops all lined up based upon one move right now, right? And if it don't come back, it's checkmate. If it comes back, it's not only checkmate for him, but then at that point, he gonna slaughter everything on the board with that other piece of information that he's probably holding.
All right, we're gonna leave it here. Yo, 1090 Jake, thank you for even answering the call. Wack, you my brother. I know we talk all the time. I be calling you at weird times. You be like, you still answer, so I appreciate you.
I don't give a fuck. Listen, look for me and Flacco's going into business. We'll be making an announcement in the next 3 to 5 days. All you up-and-coming or struggling or new YouTubers or bloggers or artists that have created and designed something just for you guys, I'll make the announcement right here on the Academy when the first one was ready. But in the next 3 to 5 days, we'll be making an announcement. Y'all get ready. Everything what y'all been waiting for, what y'all been wanting us to do, we're about to do for you guys. Get ready. As long as you're prepared to invest in yourself, we're going to give you the right investment. Appreciate you, Wack. Appreciate you, Chad. Follow the Queen, R_ANNB. Follow the Honey Show. And subscribe to the Honey Show on YouTube. Subscribe to 1090 Jake. And we're going to keep this battle of the battle of the paperwork going.
All right,
that's it.
All right,
I'm out.
Yo, 1090 Jake, thank you, by the way. I don't know if you're still on here. Thank you.
That's pretty much the end of the conversation. Y'all gotta let me know what y'all think in the comments below. What's y'all opinion on this whole Larry Hoover paperwork that 1090 Jake exposed? How do y'all feel about this 70-year-old man being put into the spotlight for being a snitch after he spent more than 50 years behind bars, and he has totally transformed her and changed his life from going from being the founder of the Gangsta Disciples to denouncing them and doing whatever he can to help against prison reform and to help the youth deter them away from joining gangs. Now, I kind of understand 1090 Jake's perspective on this. Now, this is a leader of the Gangsta Disciples. This gang, when it was first created, it had a different purpose for what it turned out to be. Long story short, the gang evolved and, accumulated thousands of members over the years. It definitely contributed to a lot of the murders that happened in Chicago. A lot of people have definitely lost their lives repping the Gangsta Disciples, putting in work for the Gangsta Disciples. A lot of people have spent time in prison because they didn't tell on anybody, because they were members of the Gangsta Disciples and they believed in that code at some point. So how would it look to those guys who probably lost friends, lost loved ones, they lost time in prison, when they find out that the founder of the gang that they've been repping and upholding all the values and beliefs under, you find out the founder of that same gang has broken the same rules that you've been risking your life and many of your friends have died upholding. So that's his whole perspective. He says he doesn't have any dog in the fight. This seems like selective politics. 1090 Jake feels that everybody in the industry and the culture is showing Larry Hoover favoritism, and they don't necessarily want to see the truth. If it is revealed that Larry Hoover is a snitch, a lot of people might turn a blind eye to it. They just don't want to see it because this is he's a hero to a lot of people in the community. So a lot of people definitely don't want to see anything negative associated with Larry Hoover. And I think that's Wack 100's stance on this whole thing, because he definitely was campaigning for the release of Larry Hoover. He met with Jay Prince at some point to try to help facilitate a documentary being released, but that turned sour when Jay Prince tried to extort the woman who owned the rights to the footage. So I think Wack 100 is definitely a fan of Larry Hoover. He doesn't want to see anything negative on him. He doesn't want to see that, the guy that he probably looked up to turns out that he's a rat. I don't think anybody wants to see that. But in hindsight, from a civilian standpoint, I don't think they really care, because they don't really care about the street shit. I think the general populations probably won't even care, because the dude's like pushing 75 years old. I mean, what the hell street values does he need to uphold at this point? That's going to be a lot of people's opinion. But I go back to 1090 Jake's point that what about the people who swore to uphold this? They risked their lives for this. They lost their loved ones. They lost friends. They lost time in prison away from their family, repping the Gangsta Disciples. So what about those guys? So I kind of see it from both perspectives. But I don't know, man. I think this is going to be a battle of the paperwork, man. 1090 Jake is going to have to dig deeper and try to get the actual court documents that coincide with the newspaper article that he referenced that named Larry Hoover as a informant or a snitch. Now, I think that's the task that he has been tasked with by Wack 100 and Akademiks. So I think we haven't heard the end of this. There's definitely going to be some back and forth between him and Wack 100. We'll just stay tuned and see what happens. If you made it this far and you enjoyed the content, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notification bell on. I'm going to see y'all in the next one. Peace.